Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. So today we're doing a shootout between the TC Electronic Plethora, can never say that right, X1, and the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus and the Line 6 HX1. So, you know, the things like this can be a little confusing for some folks, or, you know, a lot of times there just isn't enough information out there for bass, right? You know, a lot of times they do us kind of dirty. They don't even have as much bass stuff, but But these are just the Shimmer reverbs that are on each of these devices, and they each have their own flavor. My personal favorite out of them is going to be the TC Electronic Hall of Fame Shimmer, and I created my own setting for that. But these other two also have their own place. Now, the main difference between these things, let's just, for one, this one costs about twice as much as these two. So literally you could buy both of these for the price of this. They're on sale. These HX ones are on sale for $250 right now. But normally they're $300, and that is a steep price for one effect at a time, compared to the X1, which they do have. This right now, the software for a lot of people is not connecting. So if that's going to be, I'm sure they're going to correct that. Like I am pretty sure, that will be fixed in the next couple of weeks. So maybe some of you guys might be better off holding off before you get it and just let the update come out and then come back and revisit it. Of course, when it does an update, I'll do another review of it. I did one yesterday as well. So if you actually want to check out the actual review of the TC Electronic Plethora X1 as is, you can check that out on my page. So, but the Line 6 one does have some effects that I really like, and the Shimmer is one of them. Just beautiful. Very nice effect. And I mean, that is gorgeous. So I'm just letting it finish. It's still going. That's beautiful. But somehow when you're playing with it, it's like it still follows you, even though it has this really long tail. Like it's still going right now. So that's a really nice effect on there. And I do like the Shimmer on the MS-70CDR Plus. It's a little brighter than the other two. It reminds me of that the Rainbow Machine, but I think it's Earthquaker devices. And you don't have to have that so in your face. You also have some options here. On that, you can bring the high dampening down. You can also have the low dampening feature as well. So, got a lot of options with these, but you can leave these on 100, the low and the high dampening on 100, and it gives you the full open sound there. And all of these are running stereo as well, so these are just options to give you options. But the thing I really love about this one is it's just it just has this extraordinarily gorgeous sound while still like retain some warmth. While giving you a little bit more of that reverb sound in there as well. So I really, this is actually my favorite one. So just for me, almost just having that is almost worth the price of admission. You know what I'm saying? So and these things just sound so good. But all right, so what I'm actually going to do or planning to do today is actually compare some effects that are supposed to be very similar, like the shimmer effect we just went through with the reverbs here. So I have a few of my favorite effects in the HX1, right? And like I said, this one, my main beef with this pedal is it just costs too much. You know, I could literally buy 2 of these or 2 of these or 1 of each and still be just $10 more than 1 of these. So, you know, at its regular price. So, actually, nah. Because, nah, on the sale price, that's crazy because these $250 on sale, these are each about $130. So, for $260. You can get both of these, and this costs $250 by itself. So it's like these two together, you can have 7 different slots to do all this different stuff, right? But one effect I do like on here as well, besides the shimmer, is the dynamic bloom, which is a reverb as well. Let's check this joint out. So that's a beautiful reverb that is, I don't have anything on here that's similar to that. So I really like the way that kind of shapes out there. And because for me, I would mostly use this for the delays and reverbs personally. They do have like a noble DI on here. Let me run to that real quick. And that's something that these two won't have. They won't have distortions. Mind you, most of those distortions you're not going to use anyway, because they're mostly guitar oriented. So the ones that are bass, it's only like three of them. I think it's an Ampeg scrambler, a Sans amp driver, and let's go up here. Because that's the difficult thing about these devices. Sometimes you don't really know what things sound like. They say they got a lot of this and a lot of that, but what do the actual effects sound like? So you get distortions, dynamics, which is like compressors and all that stuff. You get EQs, modulations, delays, reverbs, wah and filters, and a looper. So, that's a nice range of effects there. But like I said, especially with things like the distortion stuff, you're not going to really be using all that. But let's go to some things that you might use in the distortion section. Here is the Ampeg scrambler. Hold on, what else is on? Oh, there we go. This is my bass dry. So, that's something you may or may not use a whole lot of. That's not my flavor. That's kind of weak. I actually have the actual Ampeg scrambler and the Ampeg BA210 V2 right there, and that really doesn't do it for me. Let me see. Did they have a blend on that? Yep, they got a blend on it at least. You also got this bit crusher here, which I don't really care for. And that's definitely something on the MS-70CDR Plus that I like a lot more, would be the bit crusher. And unlike the other two, if I wanted to, I could just come over here, add a filter, and see. And these filters sound good too. So it's like one of the huge advantages that the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus has over the other two is um, it's a way you can finish your sound. Like you can finish the entire sound that you're going after within the unit for the most part because you have modulations, delays, reverbs, and filters, and then you still get something like that bit crusher. So even if you don't have distortions in it, it doesn't have any distortions or overdrives, anything like that. No amps, none of that. Just straight up a lot of modulations, a lot of delays, and a lot of reverbs and filters. So, but and then you get a few little special things like that bit crusher, which I consider a type of drive. So I like that. I like that. I'm gonna leave the same filter on, but I like the bit crusher in there more than this one. This one kind of just like some noise. And that's with 100% of the mix there. Yeah, not my flavor. It's too weak. Like it's not aggressive enough. If I want a bit crush, I want to be able to get really aggressive. But with this one, I can also dial back that tone. That's not even me changing the balance. That's literally me just changing the tone. All the way open. All the way closed. Well, that's 4. That's all the way closed. But if you had the balance all the way up, you can still with the tone control how bright, even with the fully degraded signal. You can still have that bottom in there if you want it, or you can have that. You can bring this down to 8-bit. All the way down to 4-bit. Really just have it really super degraded, but all the way up to 16. So you got a lot of options with just that one effect on there, and that's what I love about this little unit. This is a must-have. Even if you don't get these two, you still gotta get this, just because of how much ground it'll cover for your pedal board. Being on there is 6 effects at a time, and the effects do sound good. Now, one benefit that this pedal has is it has all of TC Electronics, like, or the majority of them, not the majority, a lot of them, um, effects that you really can't, these pedals are emulating. So these pedals will have things like this chorus. Let me see, I got this on, like the TC Electronic chorus that everybody emulates on their stuff. And on here, I would be settling for a emulation of something like that. Let me see something. Matter of fact, let me pull up the effects list, and I can tell you exactly which effect is supposed to be emulating this Corona chorus. Because a lot of times we forget that these are, they're digital pedals, but a lot of stuff in here are emulations of, what this is actually turning into. Like, compared to this is actually physically turning into those pedals. Like, because of their algorithms and the way they do their tone prints. So this is pretty much a tone print loader. Like I said, it needs to be updated so you can connect to the app properly. But even with the built-in effects, if you know what you're doing, you can change each foot switch. You can change in each mode. So each mode is going to have an A and a B. Right? So this is a doubler. Let me turn this off. Right? So that's a doubler. So the A and B aren't automatically available. You have to literally hold this foot switch and toggle down or up. Hold on, let me see what it says. Oh, you gotta go to the A slot, toggle down. So it has to be in the A. If you already got it on A and B, you have to have it in A in order to get to these foot switches. So here, so basically now, oh, come on, it doesn't stay. So now I can go up and I can change it to mash. I can change it to latching, momentary, and mash, and also turn it into an A-B. So, that's how you would do that. Otherwise, when you toggle and it's on an effect, it's going to go through the different types. It usually gives you about 5 different types of that effect available on each slot. So on A slot, this is the reverb, right? It give you 5 different types of reverb. And on the B slot, it'll give you, 5 types of the doubler. Let me see what this doubler talking about. Right, and let's see what the doubler sounds like on the MS-70CDR plug. Let's flip back and forth. Okay, let me see if does this have a doubler? Oh, I gotta get these effects up so I can see what I'm doing here. Because for me, this is just me. I do like some of the effects in here. I do. I'd be lying if I said I didn't like some of these HX1 effects. But it's like, because it's restricted to one at a time, it kind of irritates me because they're emulations. And it's like, you're going to restrict me to one emulation at a time compared to TC Electronics X1 is the authentic things just loaded into here. It's the same thing as if you bought the Spectracomp pedal right there and load it in a tone print or something like that. It's the authentic algorithm versus these are emulation of algorithms, which is crazy. they're not even always emulating analog stuff. Some of it's analog modeling other digital algorithm stuff, which is crazy. So, all right, pull this up. Matter of fact, let's go. So we did those doublers. Let me see. I need to see if this has a doubler real quick. And that would be in the modulation section. Let's see. Let's try double take on here. Make sure I hit that like button while y'all hanging out with me. I definitely appreciate it. You know, but hit that like button, subscribe so you know when I'm going live with this different stuff. Now, you know, I get this stuff out to y'all as fast as I can. And that ain't always easy. Yeah. So, let me see. All right, let's try that. So that's the doublers. You know, the you know, pretty much it's like an exact copy of your sound, just thickening it up or adding depth to the sound, depending on how much you're adding. So you got plenty of room to play around with different things on there. You know, sometimes you got to go effect for effect. So that's what we're trying to do right now. Is just see, you know, where each of them, each of them, kind of overlap a little bit, and just kind of see which ones we like a little bit more. So let's look into the flangers. So my favorite flanger on this X1 is the, matter of fact, I'll access it from here. Is the analog flanger. Sounds amazing. I actually really like this effect. So nice warm flanger there. Nice wide flanger. Like that is a super wide flanger there. And that's why I like it. So what else? I think I got the flanger queued up on here. Did I put that on here? No. Here we go. This is the MS-70CDR Plus, the vintage flanger. So you get a real nice. I love that flanger right there as well, and that's just like one. That's one of the instances where one effect kind of beef up your sound and give you a whole different texture of you just you kick on that flanger. Or and we gotta go back to this chorus. I ain't forgot. So it really just depends on what you need your flanger for and how you use it. You know, if you use it like you need the extreme settings, you know, for this you definitely gonna need to get into the app to get to some more settings to get that more extreme flanger sound. You know, compared to the Zoom one, it only has 5 parameters, but they do the job. Yeah, and it's mostly like it's like that. It's just the right flanger sound right off the back. That's what I love about it. You know, and I love this one because it's that nice wide flanger. None of the other ones are as wide as this one is. Like, so, but I love the way that one in particular sounds. And I like this for more chordal stuff because it doesn't get so thick. Or like using that with a synth sound, like the synth pad sound. See, it doesn't add like too much. It's a much more transparent one. So, depends on how you want your sounds affected, you know. If you want a more drastic one, I guess, out of those. And those are just my favorite options. You got more options than that on here for flangers. Got like a jet flanger. But the analog flanger, it's like it warms your sound up, you know, AC flanger. It's the 80A flanger. So you got some options there with this as well. And I believe you have a few more flangers in here back up in the regular column. The dynamic flanger. Let me bring that down. And since we're right here on this gray flanger, this is supposed to be the same as no cancel. So both of these are the MXR vintage flanger type setting. So the MXR 117 flanger. So let's just compare these two. So yeah, there you go. In terms of flangers, you got to kind of see all the ones that were available on the HX1, as well as, let me see what else we got in terms of flangers on here. Got a few more on here, actually. Forgot about these. So you get a ton of flangers on this, you get a ton of flangers on here. You got even though this seems like it's just one flanger, you get a different types of flangers within that as well, especially once they finish updating the app, And like I said, they haven't updated the app so this can completely across the board, no matter what system you're using, connect. So I haven't even been able to connect this with my MacBook Pro or my Android phone. So they got something they'll fix in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, ideally, they would have had that done already. But this is reality. So, all right, so let's go with something like this also has like some synths in it as well. I forgot to mention that, but nothing I would particularly use. You know what I'm saying? Like the harmony, the pitch stuff, yeah. Some of the harmony stuff, yeah. Let me see what else we got on here. Phasers. See what these chords are supposed to be. And we can go right to the chorus section of the pedals. They got a lot of choruses in this Zoom pedal. Let me see something here. Okay, cool. All right. So with this, we'll start with the Zoom pedal. Just play through a few choruses. We're going to stop right here for a second because this is actually a chorus that's supposed to be a emulation of the Corona chorus. So this is called the green chorus on here. Just make sure I'm not mistaken. Yep. TC Electronic Corona chorus, and the next one is supposed to be the Tri chorus by TC Electronics. So this one, this is what I'm saying. Like when you get in a pedal like this, at $130 for it to include an emulation of this isn't bad. You know, I'm not tripping. You know, but to hike it all the way up to $300 for a lot of these emulations on here aren't even, you know, necessarily Line 6 sounds. They do have quite a bit of them are Line 6 originals, but most of the ones you're going to want to use are more than likely, you know, is what it is, you know. So, but here is the green chorus. We're going to set this up for a nice depth, slow rate. See, when you're kind of listening to them side by side, it's like this definitely feels like the real thing compared to this. So even though, like I said, they have to update the app and connect it, this thing sounds amazing. It's the exact pedals. you know, that by TC Electronic just beamed into one pedal form, and you have the ability to set things up. You actually have the ability to set each of these knobs, the A, B, and C, to 3 different parameters each. You can set the mash to control 3 different parameters at a time. So you pretty much got 4 different ways you can control the sound, and you know, live, like a regular stock box when you're just using it live, you know. So that is a really nice feature. On this one, you only get four parameters: depth, speed, tone, and mix. You know, so it's like a really skimmed down version, and you don't have control over every aspect of it like you do in the Tone Print app when this is working properly. So reminding you that these have been released, but they did release an update that's supposed to work, but it's not working for a lot of folks, including myself. So, but I am, even that with the pedal the way it is, I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with the sounds. You know, that is a beautiful chorus. Let's check out this chorus on the HX1. The 70s chorus. So that's just going through a few of these choruses. And one thing I do like about these do sound good. They have a nice stereo width to them. A lot of the choruses they have in this. Let me see which choruses these in here. Okay, and in this one. So that's 7. So the first chorus is a line 6 original. So this one was a line 6 original. Let's compare that to the TC Electronic. So this chorus and this chorus are supposed to be the same emulation. So this is Zoom's take on it. So it's a it's much slimmer, sounding. Granted, this has some additional features that the original pedal doesn't have on the HX1. Like this true stereo on here, and a few other things. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different parameters. 9 different parameters that'll help you shape that as well. So it definitely that one. Get that one at line 6 there. This is a great example of how right here, hit that like button for me, while you're hanging out with me. But I appreciate y'all wherever y'all are hanging out with me. But this is a great example of why I like Zoom stuff so much. In this pedal, they also included the bass. They did include the guitar versions and the bass versions of the modulations. So here's the regular guitar ensemble chorus, which doesn't sound bad. Here's the one for bass. But even flipping back and forth there, you can just hear that it doesn't really, it adds more bottom with the bass ones. It just like feels like a bass chorus. This is the stereo chorus. Super wide chorus there, clear. So, yeah, a ton of different choruses on here. So we went through a few of them. Nice analog chorus. Tri-chorus. And hit that like button while y'all here, and just flipping through some choruses on the HX1, and let's flip over to the Plethora X1 and let's hear some of these choruses. This is Zoom's version of the TC Electronic Tri-Chorus, and we're going to compare that to the actual Tri-Chorus in here real quick. I actually think that's a really good emulation there. They did a good job with that. So this is the actual TC Electronic Tri-Chorus tone print in here, and that was the Zoom one. So that's not bad at all. Unfortunately, the HX1 doesn't have any TC Electronic Chorus emulations, but Zoom definitely does. So, but that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the Patreon if you want any of my presets for different pedals that I have available here, such as the Zoom MS-60B Plus, Zoom B6, the Source Audio C4 synth, 11 different preamp packs, plus my personal preset list for the ToneX pedals and software. So, and we'll be having packs for all of these, the Plethora, the MS-70CDR Plus, as well as the H. Really start getting my hands on different multi-effects units and doing some different packs for you guys. That way you'll have, whatever you decide to get, I'll have different packs that I've spent time crafting to make sure that they sound amazing when you just pick them up and play them, and, but they did a great job. That's the Zoom TC Electronic. So that is very close. So let's move on to some other things. Like, let's do some of the pitch shifting stuff. Now, I really like this patch I made in this what's this? The Brainworks tone print. That's something that I can't really do with the Zoom MS-CDR Plus. I believe it does have pitch shifters though, so some that are pretty good. And this has the BrainWorks one and the subbing up as well. This also has like a OC, a couple different octavers in here. So the Zoom one actually tracks pretty well. Definitely tracks well. So you don't have the ability to do more than one at a time. But with this one, I believe, the HX1, let me see what pitch shifting stuff it's got in here. It's got this whammy effect. So that pitch whammy doesn't track the best. Get this twin harmony thing where you can build chords and different harmony things. Simple pitch. So for those of you just joining us, the Plethora X1 is pretty much a bunch of different Teeth electronic pedals in one that you can use one at a time. So basically this pedal transforms into different Teeth electronic effects, which is amazing because each of those pedals would run you about $100 bucks, roughly 120 bucks a piece or more. So to have all of them, 14 different effects available to you in here, and not only that, each of those effects have different types, even within this. So like right now, this is this. pitch one, but I can set it to this detune one. And all this is the same brain works. All these are different tone joints. And this is actually a whammy. So if I hold this foot switch down, oh, gotta do it quickly. Hold the foot switch down, hit the switch, bam. We'll change this to mesh. Something just happened. What's going on with this? Did I just lock it or something? I don't know what just happened to this joint. This joint just stopped responding. That's crazy. See what I'm saying? I love the way it sounds, but they still gotta fix the app, and they seem, got a few bugs to work out with this one. I thought they would have had this worked out, to be honest with you. But looks like they just went ahead and launched it. Or maybe I just got one of the earlier ones. I mean, I do have one of the earliest ones. I'm not endorsed by any of these companies, and none of them sent this to me. So all this stuff is just me, liking pedals. Let me see. Restart this joint. There we go. So, you got access to different ones here. So even though you only have even though you got a ton of different settings and stuff that these can be for each one. So even the A and B have 5 slots, each of the A and B. So that's a good amount of stuff. That's what, 70 slots all together, for real, that you can just have pre-programmed onto the pedal. It's not accessible the same way it is on the HX1. See, the HX1, you can actually just have a preset list of 128 like it is here. You can even control it through MIDI. It's got the MIDI in and out ports there. And you also get an expression input there to control different effects, morph between settings, all types of different stuff. So this one, it costs, like I said, the cost is the only thing that I have a problem with. This one is that cost was half as much. This was 150, 160, I'll be fine. But because it's 250, 300, it's a lot. I find that to be a lot. But it does have some very nice stuff in here. Like I said, let me get to my settings. Like the analog flanger. And the shimmer. Dynamic bloom. Very nice. Transistor tape. My only real problem with this one is it's like the stuff I would want to use it for, it makes it difficult to put it in one spot. Like I'm not going to always want a flanger in the same spot. I'm going to want a reverb in or a delay on the pedal board, you know. But compared to the MS-70CDR Plus, I don't have to move it around at all. Like because I have 6 on here, if I need to have modulations here and then a little bit later have something else in this 6-piece chain here, you know, that makes it very flexible. This right here, and once they get this app together and software together, this will be a really great pedal. It sounds so good. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I love this vibrato. It's so subtle. It's so subtle. And I like this. Have some of my favorite vibrato on here as well. Where is it? Swell vibrato. It's one of my absolute favorite effects. Matter of fact, it's one of the main reasons why I had to have a MS-70CDR Plus, because I use that to finish some of my synth sounds like this. So it has like a pre-delay. It pretty much lets a note through normal and then ramps up the vibrato depending on how much you set it to. But you can hear it there without it. See, without it, it's just the sound just stagnant. See how subtle it is? Just the tail end. Just subtle and just gorgeous. So it just adds like a nice, gorgeous, just at the tail. It's perfect for synths and all that type of stuff. So that swell vibrato absolutely was necessary. Let me see what we got on here in terms of vibrato. Okay, so that was the vibrato on there. What you got? Let's see what else I got on. Got this vibrato on here as well. Just regular vibrato. But I really like this TC electronic joint. It's so smooth. See what I'm saying about it being like super smooth? It's like the smoothest vibrato that I've run across that I particularly like. You know, I love it even when I was just hearing it on amps. I love this TC Electronic Shaker vibrato. It's always been one of my favorite vibratos. But I also love this swell vibrato here. You know, these are my least favorite vibratos out of all of them, and the HX1. So they're cool, but they're not my flavor. Let me see what else we got here. That's a nice, pitch effect there. This is just like your regular, simple one pitch. If you wanted to drop it down an octave, you could. Make a nice bass synth sound there. And this is like an OC2 sound. Right, let's put that up against. See what I got on here. I don't need this. So, both of those could be usable, but the HX1, I'll give it to that one on that. Definitely sounds more like the OC5 in vintage mode, to me, than this one does. Let me see what we got on here. On the sub and up. Let's see what we got on the sub and up. That's level up. That's the sub. That's the dry mix. Okay, that's all sub. just don't want it with that. Classic. Yeah, I don't really like this for that purpose. It's poly. You also got this joint, but I think this is actually a little more comparable for what we're going to be working with. And let's go up to the poly. It's right there. And let's go to, I guess, simple pitch. Zoom ain't loud. You also get the option on the HX1 to of what I guess level of processing you want the tracking to be. I'm guessing this, the X stable is more, as stable as the tracking can get, but takes a little bit more time, and the X fast probably is a little bit more mistakes, but still has has a faster response time than the X stable tracking. So let's see what all of these polyphonic octavers sound like an octave down. So far, I like the Plethora X1's polyphonic octave down the most. It's very massive sounding. So yeah, I definitely like this one. It has like its own characteristics, almost like a cello. I think that might be 2 octaves down. But yeah, so I really like the sound of this pedal, of this Teese Electronic Plethora X1. Amazing sounding pedal. They just have to work out these kinks. Mind you, the Helix stuff, they've had to work out kinks for years. So let that not discourage you from having to buy one. Because even as it is right now, I still would take it for $130. But I know they're going to update. They got to update the app and make sure that the connectivity is consistent across platforms, which it's not right now. But that's something they've been able to achieve before. So I'm not like, not worried about them not being able to do it because they've done it before with the X3, the X5. So it's just a matter of some firmware adjustments and things like that. But you get all the TC electronic sounds and not copies of the sounds like the other two. If they have, in the Zoom pedal is an emulation of what this actually is at times, like the Corona cores or the Flanger, or different things that might be specific to TC electronic. And you get things like a noise gate, you get a compressor in here, you get modulations, delays, reverbs, a doubler, and a harmonizer pedal. Let's go to the harmonizer pedal real quick. We're going to compare that to these two. See, this has a harmonizer in it as well. Here's the harmonizer. Twin harmonizer. We'll set this up to the key of G, and we'll make this the third. And we'll pan that to the left. And we'll put this in the key of G as well. Make this the seventh. And we'll pan it all the way to the right. I do like how on this you can on the HX1 on the harmony pedal you can change the scale to um, different keys. Like you got pretty much two different pitches that harmonize, and you have independent control over both of them, including the key of each of them, the scale, independent scales, and different harmony parts. You know, up to a ninth each way, up and um, a ninth an octave below. So, and then you got volume, and then you can pan them too. So if you're running this in stereo, like I'm doing, you can have one sound on the right and gives you a nice wide chordal sound. So, you know, you can hear, for me, my favorite is going to be that TC Electronic one. And I know when I get into the app eventually, whenever they update it finally, taking forever. No, I just got it yesterday or the day before. But, you know, they definitely should have had that app up and running by now, and they don't. So if you want to wait to grab the Plethora X1, I mean, you wouldn't be in bad shape. You know, technically a lot of places don't even have it yet, but I was lucky to grab one, you know, early. So they definitely, I love this pedal. I love the concept. I love the price. Especially on sale. It's on sale for $130 right now. If you grab it for $130, it's a smack deal. That's why I don't know if I really want to recommend you waiting to get it because it's going to go back up to $170. So if you go back up to $170, then that's a grip. You know what I'm saying? That's an extra $40 that you could have used for something else. You know, when you could grab it now for $130, and then bam, you got all these 14 different effects, beautiful harmony pedal, nice doubler, beautiful, amazing shimmer effects and all this other stuff that just sounds so good. Like, just flip through some of these joints real quick. Favorite vibrato, amazing chorus. And mind you, like like I said, of each one you get 5 of these in here. Classic Corona chorus sound there. You also got the classic flanger, vortex flanger in there. You get compressors, but we're gonna go on through the compressor. Got this viscous vibe. I think this one is. Yeah. Pitch shifter. It's just a noise gate. So you get those really amazing. I, I'm I love Tisa Electronic effects. First of all, and as you can see, I got the original Tisa Electronic BH500 back there, 30-pound head with the, but that cabinet's only about 60 pounds. So even that cabinet almost 10 years old and it's still super light. Still sounds amazing. Still got tons of bottom. So TC Electronic, I trust, you know. And plus, these pedals have been out for a while. The Spectre Comp has served me well. So, you know, I believe they will update this and get it together. But right now, you know, just pre-warning, you know, you can create all those different sounds. Like you saw me just creating, you know, sounds. So each effect on here, like I said, has 5 different tone prints printed upon it. So you got 14 different slots ready to go. But within those 14 slots, you have 5 variations of that effect pretty much that you can access. And then from there, it depends on the preset or the tone print, whether what these knobs are assigned to, these 3. Each A, B, and C can be assigned to 3 different parameters each. So as you turn this one knob, it can be controlling 3 different parameters, as well as when you press mash, you can set that to control 3 different parameters, whether it be speed them up or slow down or the depth and frequency, whatever. So it's an amazing little pedal, you know. The HX1, if it wasn't for the price, I'd be down with it. You know, for $300, $250, that's a little pricey. Like I said, you can get this one and this one right now for $260, and it'll be just $10 more than getting this one by itself. But it does have additional features that the other 2 don't have, like expression input, MIDI. Also has this preset menu here, and allows you to click through the presets relatively easy. And it has more variations of effects. You know, it has distortions, dynamics, which is control compressors, EQs, modulations, delays, reverb, pitch, and synth, and wah filters and looper. The only problem I have with that is some of that stuff, you know, none of that stuff goes in the same place on your pedal board. So it's like you're essentially buying this to be something that can be versatile for you. And for me, the versatility is going to come for a bassist. It's only like 3 or 4 distortions that'll work. I don't like these compressors at all. I don't need to use this pedal as an EQ for $250, $300. Why would I use this pedal for an EQ? It doesn't make sense. The modulation section, yes. The delay section, yes. Reverb section. The pitch section and synth section they're just okay. They ain't nothing crazy. But you can get them to sound really good, especially the harmony stuff, you know. You can definitely get that to sound really good. The filters, I don't really care for. But, of course, you know, a lot of those are geared towards guitar, again, you know. And the looper, you know, you got different types of the looper here. But, you know, that can be fun. And, you know, only thing is you don't have a way to save it on here. So, essentially, you're creating loops. It's not something I would use as a looper because once I created my loop, I couldn't save it. I can't... you know, which means I'm losing the idea. And one of the reasons I use a looper is for composition. So I actually still use my Jam Man Solo XT, and I have an extension Jam Man Solo. Jam Man Express XT. So I have those hooked together. And just so a heads up, Zoom is coming out with a multi-stomp looper that's going to have 90 minutes of loop time on it, but it'll store, I think they said 100 different slots on there of loops, you know what I'm saying, and up to, it's a lot of hours. Let me see. Yeah, it's gonna have, I think they said 100. I want to say it's going to have a lot of storage, put it like that. And it's going to be 32-bit float. You know, it's going to have different built-in drum machine, 13 hours total capacity, and storage of up to 100 loops and provides 90 minutes of recording per loop. So that's quite a bit of stuff they're going to add into this. Let me see. This is what it looks like. It's green. But this is coming out soon too. So, I'll be getting one of those because that is a nice looper. Whether it stands up against the Jam Man Solo XT, who knows? Maybe I'll end up with two of these Zoom Solo looper pedals. The looper on this B6 is pretty good too. It's just and you can store things on. That's another thing about the B6. You can store a bunch of loops on here as well. So the B6 is kind of like even though it's 6 effects at a time, a lot of people like, rada, you actually are able to use more than 6 effects at a time. You can actually use the 6 effects that you could program on the screen, but then you have things like the looper, which is 7. Then you got the DI types, that's 8. Then you also have a global EQ. That's 9 effects at a time, really, that you could do with the Zoom B6. So, don't sleep. Zoom B6 definitely has some options, but, in terms of a looper, it's okay to just add a looper, but not nothing I would write home about or go crazy about personally. But it's a looper. So, if you keep this for this HX1, if you're a bassist, it does have the Regal, what they call the Regal bass amp on there, which is, not bass amp, here's the joint called? Oh, preamp. So it's like a Noble preamp, a Noble emulation on there. It's okay. It could be useful for a bassist, but am I gonna get a HX1 and use it as a Noble emulation? Like, for real, is that what I'm getting it for? Like, come on, like, it just needs to have. For me, this is what kind of makes me a little harsher on this one than this one. These are at least original TC Electronic effects that I've always wanted, and just to have them all separately would have cost so much. So this is physically saving me money. While this is kind of like just spending money on something that doesn't have anything in particular that's super special about it, just has a lot of stuff. Like, it has 250 effects, but all these effects are, all the good ones, in my opinion, or the majority of the good ones that I like, are all emulations of something else or copying somebody else's sound. I might as well just get the actual sound, and at least with the TC Electronic one, I'm getting their actual sounds that I've always wanted from their different pedals that cost $100 each. And guess how much this one is? $130. Some of those pedals that this allows you to load in cost more than that. So, this is like them giving you everything in one pedal and allowing you to just choose which one, versus this is like them giving you a bunch of stuff that's copies of other stuff. Now, and charging you more than the original people are. You know what I'm saying? For their type of stuff. But the Zoom one is $130. For this, all the different types of delays, choruses, reverbs, filters, and special effects, bit crusher in there. This has enough sounds, effects. Almost all these effects, the majority of these effects, not almost all of them, because this got like 150 effects on it or something like that. I would say about 70 of these I can use for different stuff. Out of this one, I would say I would only be using it for maybe 10 effects. Maybe 10 to 15 effects out of here. For me, as a bassist, as somebody that the sounds I'm looking for, I'm probably going to use only 10 to 15 of these effects. And the benefit of having this one, I'm going to use the majority of the effects, or at least half of the effects, say about 70, that's close to half. I can string them together 6 at a time. And with this one, like I said, you still get about 70, pretty much 70 different memory slots on here one way or another. This one has 128. So 128 slots. This one's got 100 memory slots. Hold up, it might be more than that. Let me see. No, it's 100. 100 memory slots on here, and this one gives you about 70. So it just depends on what you need. Like this Plethora is definitely going on my main pedal board. This Zoom MS-70CDR is definitely going on there as well. I just got to figure I might switch over from the smaller board to this bigger, this medium-sized board as my main board again. I was trying to go smaller for a little bit, but you know, these are actually helping me extend my capabilities because this has 6 effects. This has 14 of my favorite effects, and I can just run it at the end. If nothing else, this shimmer effect. That reverb effect is worth $130 to me. You know that, and then you add in my favorite vibrato into that mix too. You know, you can't really beat that. This, I just can't justify it. I just can't justify it for $300, $250. You know, maybe if you're a super Line 6 fan, I'm already not a super Line 6 fan, to be honest with you. Like, you know, I prefer Zoom over Line 6 all day, and this is partly the reason why. If you're gonna give me emulations, let them go ahead. You know, give me a variety of them. Now, I will say I do have the effects I like on here that are the copies on here. I like more on here. Well, some of them, not all of them. Some of them about pretty much the same exact thing. But, you know, like that chorus, what was that? That CE1 chorus, that Boss CE1 chorus. I liked it better on the Line 6 HX1 than I did on the MS-70CDR Plus. But that's to be expected, seeing how this is twice as much as this, just about. So, you know, you got to, for what this is going to do, you might as well just get these two. And it's going to cost you the same as this. I can't stress that enough. This does have some cool effects. Again, just nothing worth taking up a $300 slot on my pedal board. You know, like I said, that $300 price tag is steep for only 10 to 15 effects I'm gonna use out of 250. That's why I said that number means nothing to me. Like, I love this flanger. I like the shimmer as well on here. I like this dynamic bloom. I like this Adriatic delay. But I even managed to make a copy of this on here. Not a copy, exact copy, but something similar. So, you know, you take things like that and you just mix things together. You know, this gives you another thing. This MS-70CDR Plus allows you to do is experiment with different effects and see, okay, do I really need a dedicated chorus pedal or not? or are these sufficient for the type of chorus things I'm going to be doing, you know. And these are well enough sufficient for just about anything. But some things, you know, like preamps and compressors, you might want that analog, you know. For me, you know, I like to have that analog compressor there. It definitely changes the sound compared to on a digital unit. So, like the HX1, I don't like any of the compressors on here, but on the Zoom stuff, you know, they have much better than. I like the 1176 limiter on there a lot more. So, definitely makes a huge difference. Get some nice shimmer effects. But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna do for today, guys. Definitely make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. I definitely appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me on all the various platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, don't forget to check out Patreon. You can grab all my presets that are available in different packs on there, as well as just support the channel. But I got packs available for the Zoom MS-60B Plus, the Zoom B6. I have 11 different preamp packs plus my ToneX 1 actual preset list on the Patreon as well for the ToneX series pedals and software. And I also have 74 synth pack, 74 different bass synths available for the C4 synth in a pack on the Patreon as well. And I'll be coming out with packs for all of these pedals as well, even the HX1. You know, I'm going to go through and create some really nice sounds that'll be help you as a bassist, you know, just have a better experience with it. If you're not super effects savvy, or you're just learning how, or you want to see how effects can be structured to get really nice sounds, you know, I have all my packs and stuff available on the Patreon. If you want to leave a tip, Cash App, Super Chat, Super Thanks, I definitely would appreciate $1, $2, $5. It don't have to be a lot. Whatever you got, I appreciate it. And if you would like to follow me on all social media at the Bass Negus, Negus, all social media, and check out my music at allbasscreations.bandcamp.com, and that I have the album I created with called All Bass Creations. Created that with just my bass and effects, and then I also have singles on there, some of which I've played every instrument on, including bass, piano, and drums. And I also have other tracks where I had a guest drummer come and play, and I played everything else. But I definitely appreciate you guys hanging with me. It means the world to me. If you haven't already, again, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Share it with a friend, you know, if this is useful to you. And I'll catch you guys next time. Go to the Patreon, sign up, and